What up, y'all? Been going over The Wolf Among Us by Telltale series games. So, hey, stick around. Hope you guys enjoy it. I know I enjoyed the shit out of this game already off the bat, man. Like that. So, let's start this shit, alright? Here we go. Alright, so this game, of course, is by Telltale's The Wolf Among Us. Going into this game, I knew nothing about it. I thought it was an original idea. I did not know that it was actually a creation from, what's it called? The Fables, by, what's that one author? I forget the author's name, but by DC Comics, so it's actually part of the whole universe. I did not know that, though, like I said. So going in here, in the beginning of the episode, I was kind of bored, and so I started picking up. But I might start reading the comic books just to find out more about these characters. But of course, if you don't know anything like me about these characters, there's always that index. You can look up the character's bio and all that crap. So don't worry, man. You can check that out. Staying current with it, but you don't have to though. But it probably would make it more interesting than it was for me. So the story begins. You play as Bigby the Wolf. You're a detective or a cop or whatever for these Fables in this town in New York, somewhere in New York, and you're basically in charge of making sure the Fables don't kill each other and other crap. Of course, things go down for Bigby because he was the big bad wolf back in the day, I guess. So be ready to be hated on by the mold population. But I love that because you could be a real dick in this game, which is awesome. People getting your way, punch the shit out of them, smoking no face, drink some fucking beer. You can do anything in this game. This is my kind of game already.
Is why everyone hates.
Like I said though, you don't know shit, don't worry. You always they will explain it, like any other Telltale games will explain it. So it's interesting. Also, you get to pick which location you visit. That's something new I didn't experience before in any Telltale games, where like you go here first or there first and investigate, and it changes the story up. Don't trust me, it changes it up. So going back and playing it over again, I had a different experience. So that was awesome because I hate playing the Telltale games. I already know what's gonna happen, and there's nothing different. But in this one, there's shit that happens differently. So that's fucking great. Something new, and you can see it in the newer Telltale games like Batman. So be ready for that. The characters are interesting. I'm gonna go over some of the characters. I just got them off online with their bios, the bios from the index. So don't worry what it really says in the little bio thing. You can always read it when you play the game. And yeah, man. Let's jump right into the characters. So the first character you all know, I already said you play as him. Is my man Bigby Wolf. Of course, like I said, he was the big bad wolf in the past. He's that wolf that blew the pigs' houses down and tried to kill Little Red Riding Hood and shit. So he's our main character. He's the sheriff in this our world. He makes sure the Fables use their glamour, which glamour I forgot to explain is this thing they use so they could look like humans, so they don't look like humans already, like Snow White and other characters. They use a glamour to do that. So he's in charge of that, of course. His past makes him one of those kind of characters that don't trust him, but hey, he's a cop. So it makes up for interesting things that he says to other Fables. So be ready for that. And then his superior is Snow White. She works as I'm guessing as a people, like the government for the Fables themselves, making sure they have what they need. Of course, things never run smoothly, so she's targeted for only helping the major Fables like Snow White. Oh, she's Snow White, like the big Fables, the more famous ones. So many of the underling Fables or other monsters don't really get help from her, but she is nice. Actually, one of my favorite characters in this game, and we'll be happy to see what she does in the comic books. Then we have Ichabod Crane, who in the game is in charge of the entire Fable society. And just temporary. He's temporary in charge since the main character that's in charge is gone for reasons unknown in the game. He's a scrawny guy. Not he's pretty much hate him right off the bat. Some bureaucracy on his ass. You just hate that motherfucker. I talk so much shit to him as Bigby. You can too, or you could respect him, whatever you want, man. But yeah, he's one of those wimpy, sad characters. And of course, you have the Woodsman, the guy who saved Red Riding Hood from Bigby when back in the days. He has an axe. He drinks a lot. He's your basic fool that gets just drunk, starts shit. Actually, he's one of the first characters you see being this orderly, so be ready to deal with that motherfucker. He is very drunk, like I said. But he has passed with Bigby, and they're actually kind of friends and enemies at the same time. I don't know, but a lot is revealed about this guy, so be ready for that. We have Beauty, of course. You don't know who Beauty is. She's from Beauty and the Beast. She's actually kind of shady in the game. I don't know her past, but apparently you do learn about it, about why she's doing some shady stuff and telling you not to tell Beast. So be ready for that. I'm not gonna tell you any more because it's pretty interesting. She's seems nice, loyal. So I mean that's all you really get from her. And then you get the Beast later on. He asks you where the fuck Beauty be. You be like, what the fuck? I don't know. Or you tell him or whatever. I don't give a fuck. These two characters are very accustomed to a way of life, I guess, and they try to do that in our world. It does not really work out unless you have money. So that ties into what will happen to him eventually. Then we have this guy named Bluebeard. I guess he's I don't know what he is exactly. I don't know if they go over in the comic books much. They don't really go over in the game much, so I really didn't care. But he seems to be an official, represents some other characters. Don't really like him for some reason. You kind of accuse him of something in the beginning, so that gives you some indication of why they hate him. I don't know. But he's an alright character in small doses. And then we have Georgie Porgie. He's in charge of the local strip club. Hell yeah, I would hang out with this fool, go to the strip club, see some Fables dance. But he's a very British fucking accent. He dresses like a fucking ska member. It's just funny. He's tied into what Bigby is investigating, so you will deal with him. But he's one of those bras, brah. And then you have Mr. Toad. He's actually the first character you encounter. He calls you because something's going up in his apartment complex. We never see him with his glamour on, but he is required to wear glamour, or he gets sent to the farm upstate. I guess that's where other characters go that they can't afford glamours. He's basically a spineless freak, so be ready for that. And then you have the Tweedles. While you're investigating, they get in your way a couple of times. They're private eye investigators. Of course, you got Tweedledee and Tweedledum, so they're both there. You kind of can tell them apart, so be ready for that. They do tie in with the investigation a lot, so they're gonna run into you a lot, and they kind of become a number one suspect for me. Then we have Bloody Mary. Not really. I guess she's a fable in a sense. Like again, I told you guys I didn't read the book, so I'm not 100% sure what counts as a fable. But you know she's Bloody Mary. You say her name 5 times or 3 times in the mirror, she comes out. Well, she comes out in this game as a hired gun for someone very important, part of the story. But let me say, she's very attractive. And then we have Nerissa, a stripper, or she's the little mermaid, but she works for Georgie at the strip club. She's part of the whole investigation. She'll help you out sometimes, but there's something that's stopping her from discussing this, and I can't really get into it without spoiling it for you guys, so kind of stay away from that. But damn, can she strip? And then we have this character, another character from early on in the game. She meets Bigby outside. I guess she's a prostitute, I would say, or a call girl, better. We don't know who she is or what she is. I mean, you do find out later in the game, but I'm not going to tell you. So I'm going to let you guys keep on that, But she's important. And of course, there's many more characters I can go over because I don't want to. I don't have time. But here they are. There's going to be... I actually did not unlock all these. I just got this picture online. But when I finished, my 2 go-arounds, I didn't actually meet all the Fables like there are in this thing. So there's some I missed. Probably more different paths you can take. I'm not 100% sure, but I might play it a third time. The game was amazing. At first, it was kind of slow, right? Episode 1, and then it got good towards the end. It hooked me. I was on this shit. I played it all the way through. The characters are interesting. I didn't know shit about them, so except for like what my basic knowledge is as a Mundy. Mundy is being a person that's not a fable in this world about fables. So I mean, it was interesting seeing these characters I grew up with as a child in this kind of video game world where they're a little bit different from their counterparts in their Fable world. So that was fucking amazing. And Bigby's character played perfectly with many of the choices in the game that were fucking amazing. Made the game even fucking better. To wow, the best, most brutal game Telltale's have released. Comparing it to brutally meaning no, yeah, just brutal in the sense like it was better than Game of Thrones one, than the Borderlands one, even the Batman one. I think this one was way better than the Batman one. So, oh man, just this game. I just thinking about this game. I want to play it again, and I can't wait for season 2 because how it ended. Oh man, it was just amazing. The ending just was like, like what the fuck happened? Is that really true? But whatever. Hey, just play it and you'll see what I mean. But basically, I'm gonna give this one a 9 out of 10, almost a 10 out of 10. If almost, it just missed that. Oh my god, I want to give it a 10 out of 10 just as a fanboy now, but as a reviewer and going into this game, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It misses that one element just because if those people coming into the game don't really know about anything about these characters, it really doesn't help you, and you kind of think this game is boring in the beginning like I did. So that's my reason. It's not, I guess like when people knew about these Fables comic books and read them, they were more mainstream, I guess. I don't know. I never heard of them until I played this game. But hey, man, 9 out of 10 is still pretty good. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like, hit that sub. Catch you all next time.